Welcome back to Kang TV News. I'm Colin.
And I'm Matthew. We have a 4-day week this week because of Veterans Day holiday.
The American doughboys of Battery 11th Field Artillery loaded a 95-pound shell into Calamity Jane, the name of their favorite artillery piece. An officer looking at his watch stepped forward. Raising his hand, he kept his eye on the watch, waiting for the second hand to reach 12. When it did, he dropped his hand. The soldier yanked the lanyard. It was fired. It was 11 o'clock on the 11th day of November, 1918. World War I was over. There was nearly 11,000 casualties on the final day. Tens of millions of soldiers would come home. At first, the public was enthusiastic to welcome their heroes back. However, that quickly faded. Most soldiers were unemployed and found it hard to get work. The jobs they got were small and not well paying. November 10th, 1919, in Commonwealth countries, the first Armistice Day took place at Buckingham Palace in London, when King George V hosted an event honoring the President of the French Republic. They decided to hold a 2-minute silence at 11 a.m. every November 11th. Many other countries around the world adopted Armistice Day on November 11th as a day of honoring and remembering the fallen soldiers of World War I. After Navy World War II veteran Raymond Weeks returned home, he believed we shouldn't just honor the soldiers who fought in the First World War, but of all wars. In 1947, he wrote a letter that reached the then Army Chief of Staff and 34th President Dwight D. Eisenhower. In 1954, Eisenhower became president. He officially made Armistice Day Veterans Day. Every November 11th, we honor those who have served.
There will be a special assembly coming up during Route A in the North Gym.
Starting next week, the east and west parking lots gates will close starting at 8:45 a.m. I spoke with Mr. Shultz about the safety concerns leading to this decision.
We've had students who are driving at an excessive rate of speed up and down the east drive out here and the west drive down here, and that's creating a safety hazard for our students. I know as kids walk out from PE, they're having to dodge cars. So what we're going to do is, starting in early November, we're going to close the gates on the east and west drive from 8:45 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. to help avoid with that speeding and going up and down the lanes. I just really wish that we didn't have to do it, so maybe after a month or two, students decide they're not going to want to drive as fast, and we can control their rate of speed, we may be able to reopen them, or at least take a look at reopening them. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
The Kang Kudos system is getting an overhaul with new incentives and rewards.
Mixian tells us more.
This year, we have asked the staff to kind of come up with some ideas for things we could trade for Kang Kudos for. We want to give incentives for people who are saving them up. So some of the examples, I'm going to pull the ones that I have so that you have something specific, because I don't remember all of them. For 5 tickets, I will draw you a monochromatic picture of the prompt of your choice on like a 3x5 note card, which is like a nothing thing, but I can do pretty quickly, and you might get something really goofy out of it. Or I think that one of the higher ones in my classes, you've seen the tea station over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. People keep asking me for sugar, and I don't usually provide it because it can make a huge mess. But if a class has pulled their tickets and they've been really consistently good about just in general being Kang commitment-y.
Yeah, good students,
good
be
students,
nice, kind.
Yeah. Upholding the values that we've said that we share. They can trade in, at the beginning of the year it was like 50 tickets for 1,000 sugar packets, but I didn't realize how many sugar packets there actually is. So I may be upping that reward to like 65, so it's a little bit harder to get to.
Yeah.
And for teachers, I think that's really useful to bear in mind. Like if something is a little bit too much work to do, you can change the reward value for a ticket, for your tickets if you need to. Yeah. So having that ability to trade things in. As a joke, I think I put for 50 or 25 tickets, I will knight you, which I didn't expect to be so appealing to people, but I've had several people ask me about that. It's kind of rolling out of proportion, I think.
The incentives range from candy and baked goods to a TikTok video with Mr. Drew, a Star Wars photo shoot with Mr. Palmer, merch from the student store, or a pizza party with Mr. Lamy and Mr. Elliott. When the office collects 500 tickets, there will be a popcorn party for the entire school, so start collecting.
And now a word from the class of 2026.
I really want a donut. Where do I get one?
Oh, well, you can get one right here. It's going to be under the calendar in the comments. Come during lunch to get your Krispy Kreme donuts.
We don't have any cash. represent the 16 in the comments.
If you
Like Fortnite.
then you'll like some Krispy Kreme donuts.
Go buy donuts!
Her mother was never one that had a healthy relationship with the law. A relationship that, despite her best efforts, tore her down again and again. Never knowing if the feeling will ever cease.
The photography club is up and running again. The club will meet most Wednesdays in Miss Wacker's room, 331. November meetings will take place on the 8th and the 29th. Take a look at these minifigure challenge photos by club members Nathaniel H. and Ishwin B. at the club's last meeting.
Ugh, why can't I find anything good to read?
Because you're looking in the wrong place. Join book club today. We meet every Thursday, and it's a fun and inclusive environment. It's exactly what you need.
Oh, thank God, I was going insane.
Side effects of not joining book club include breathing problems, pneumonia, general bodily deformity, insanity, and bone fragility.
Now let's toss things over to KSPN for the sports report.
What's up, Kangs? I'm Addison.
And I'm Aida. Welcome back to this week's KSPN.
Attention all fall sport athletes. Clean out your lockers now. It is time to depart and say goodbye to those big, juicy lockers.
Let's take a look at our Kinko honors for slow pitch, cross country, and girls soccer. And a huge congrats to our honorable mentions listed.
We could not be prouder of our fantastic, talented, unrivaled Kang teams and athletes who killed it over the weekend.
First off, our varsity volleyball team is in the 3A Kinko champs after a killer tournament over the weekend.
They swept Mercer Island 3-1 that Thursday and continued on Saturday, beating Liberty 3-0 for that Kinko win.
We're so proud. Watch for volleyball this week where they enter the district tournament. Volleyball plays on Thursday, the 9th at 7:30 at LDub, and we better see you there cheering them on.
And on cross country, where 3 of our amazing athletes competed at the state competition in Pasco over the weekend. We put up a great effort in rough conditions, a steep course, and still crushed it.
Great job to Joe Lamberis, Connor Sharpenberg, and Alexa Matora. Shout out to cross country for another fantastic season.
Swim and dive crushed it at districts last week, placing 4th overall against some of the top 3 teams in the state.
Big shout out to seniors Natasha Bridge, who qualified for state in the 50 free, along with Emmy Ellis and Greta Gamble, who qualified for state in diving.
Swive is headed to the state competition in Federal Way. This Thursday, let's go Kangs!
As a fall sports wrap-up, let's get hyped for the start of winter sports at the end of the month.
Oh yeah! Remember to register on final forms for winter sports and to follow our Insta at ldub_KSPN for weekly sports schedules and photos.
That's it for this week's newscast.
For KSPN, I'm Addison.
And I'm Aida. And this is KSPN out!
We close this week's newscast with a shout out to 2 video production groups who competed in a 60-second film challenge.
Each group had to create a 1-minute film using one of these required prompts: a mirror, the phrase, "It is over," and up to 15 seconds from a horror movie made in 1965 or earlier. You're watching a film called Reflection, created by members of LDub's Film Club, Contemporary Media Analysis, or COMA, and it's finished 6 out of 44 entries.
The other entry, called The Cleaner, also had a strong showing at the festival. It was created by 2 Video Production 1 students. You can watch both films on our Instagram page and congratulate everyone who worked on them. That's it for this week's Kang TV News. Thanks for watching. I'm Colin.
And I'm Matthew. Have a great rest of your week and a 3-day weekend.
Remember to pack the stands in the gym this weekend for the Sea King Volleyball Championships. And
go Kangs!